We'll Good afternoon, Akrut. Okay, so we can't wait for longer time. We'll start. Okay, in the last class, where did we stop? Can anyone suggest where did we stop? Where did we stop? Can anyone?
About features.
Yeah. So we have stopped here. So it was the introduction to Java, that is bytecode and digit. So what is bytecode? A Java program is first compiled into machine code that is understood by JVM. Such code is called as a bytecode. So that's what in the last class also we were discussing. Java, other programming language, either it may be compiler or interpreter, anyone. But Java is both. It is doing both compiling work as well as interpreting work. So that's the reason you can see JVM. JVM is what? Java Virtual Machine. So what it is doing? Intermediate, that is, it is converting whatever Java program to a machine code, but it will be understood only for JVM, not a human being. Such code we are calling it as a bytecode. So although the details of JVM will differ from platform to platform, they're all interpreted the Java bytecode into executable native machine language. So that's what here just in time. What is this just in time is also called as a JIT compiler. Compiles the bytecode into executable machine in real time on a piece by piece demand basis. So that's what here JIT compiler, what it is doing, compiles whatever the executable, what the bytecode, what you have, that will be converted to a on the basis of demand. So one piece by piece, that is what is called as a just in time. So then evolution of Java, when did Java started, what was a version? So this we see the first version was released in the year 1995. So 8 more versions released since then. So Java JDK 1.0, it was in 1996. Later JDK even released JDBC, that is Java Database Connectivity, and even distributed objects. And later the next version was JDK 1.1, that is in 1997. New event modeling was added into that feature. And later on J2SE was there, 1.2 in the 1998, where swings were added. And J2SE 1.3, it was released in the year 2000, and where they used for cleaning up the memory. In the same way, next version 1.4, it was in 2002, and J2SE 5.0 in 2004 generic, J2SE 6.0, it was in 2006, J2SE 7, it was in 2011. So the latest version, still we have improved versions of Java. This is how the Java evolved from the years, and the versions have keep updating. There may be some features and they keep updating the versions. So the key contribution of object-oriented programming, what was the key things where the object-oriented programming has to be important. That is, object-oriented programming is useful to understand the basic principle. So these are the principle which you have already studied in some other language, that is encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. So encapsulation means binding up of your class and data and methods into one class is called as an encapsulation. So we have a data, either it may be integer, float, character, string, whatever it is, that is called as a data, and methods to operate on this. Maybe you want to find out a length of a string, reverse of a string, uppercase, addition. There you can do anything from the data. So then that these two combining these two, data and method, into one class is called as encapsulation. Polymorphism. So now I don't want to write again and again something which is similar. So now square and rectangle. Square and rectangle is almost same, where but the length, whatever the values I give, if the length is same 2, 2, then it becomes square. If 2 and 4 is there, then length and width size is different, then it becomes rectangle. But the operations what we do is same. So in that case, I may use the same for many times. Then it is called as a polymorphism. Inheritance. I have a base class. I want to use the same properties into derived class. Then we use a inheritance. First we move on. OOP with Java. What is Java? Java is pure and object-oriented language. So what is Java? Java is a pure object-oriented language. The central idea behind object-oriented programming is to divide a program into isolated parts called objects. So what was the central idea in the programming is divide the program into isolated parts called as an object. Each object contains data and functions. So the function is what? The function in an object operate on data involved in that object. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is the mechanism to bind the data and code working on that data into a single entity. It provides a security for the data by avoiding outside manipulations. In Java, encapsulation is achieved using classes. A class is a collection of data and code. An object in an instance of class, object in an instance of class, object in Java, encapsulation is achieved using classes. A class is a collection of object is an instance of a class, that is several objects share a common structure, that is data and behavior code defined by that class. A class is logical entity or prototype, and an object is a physical entity. The elements inside the class are known as members. Specifically, the data or variable inside the class are called as a member variable or instance variable or data members. The code that operates on these data is referred to as a member method or a methods. In C++, we call it as a member function, whereas in Java, we call it as a methods. Methods operate on data, will define behavior and interface of a class. Now, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism can be thought as of one interface, multiple methods. It is a feature that allows one interface to be used for a general class of action. The specific action is determined by the exact nature of the situation. Consider an example of performing stack operation on 3 different types of data. That is, I want to do stack operation, one stack with integer, one stack with float, one stack with character. So all these can be done by using only one interface. That is why where we use a polymorphism. In a non-object oriented programming, we write functions with different names for push and pop operation through the logic is same for all the data types. But in Java, the same function names can be used with data types of parameters being different. So inheritance, what do we mean by inheritance? Inheritance is one of the most powerful capacity of object-oriented programming. Using this concept, new class of object can be derived from an old one. This process, what we are calling, is called as a derived class. Derived from an old one. This process is called as an inheritance because the new class inherits the characteristics of the original class. The new class is called as a derived class of the original class, and the original class we call it as a base class of a new class. So that's how here the importance of inheritance. And even you will be knowing what are the different types of inheritances are available. So the derived class can also called as a subclass or a child class. The base class can also be called as a superclass or a parent class. There are 5 types of inheritance. One is single inheritance, one base class, one derived class. Multi-level inheritance, the derived class can act as a base class. Multiple inheritance, more than one base class. That is what is called as a multiple inheritance. So the same again repetition of the inheritance. So inheritance allow the code to reuse. Why do we require inheritance? Uh, Reusing the code in the base class already code is there. I can use that. That's the reason reuse of work of an inheritance. It is a process by which one object can acquire the properties of another object. It supports the concepts of hierarchical classification. For example, consider large group of animals having few abstract class like size, intelligence, skeleton structure, etc., and having behavioral aspects like eating, breathing, etc. Mammals have all the properties of animals and also have their own specific features like type of teeth, mammal glands, etc. The characteristics of that makes them different from reptile. Similarly, cats and dogs have all the characteristics of mammals, yet we with few features which are unique for themselves. Though Doberman, German Shepherd, Leopard, etc., are the features of dog class. They have their unique individuality. The concept can be depicted as follows. So you can see animals. Again, in animals, we classify it as either reptile or a mammal. Again, in mammal, we can say human, cat, or dog. Again, in dog, different types of things. Doberman, Shepherd, German Shepherd. There are so many varieties, features of a dog. So this is an example for uh, inheritance. So next we move on to a Java development kit. So what do we mean by Java development kit? So this is a kit where your all Java programs, we try to work with this. Bytecode are a set of instructions that are looking a lot of, it looks like lot as a machine code, but are necessary but not specific to any one processor. So that's what I told even in the last class. Platform independence means what? You can run in anything. That's the reason it is having a bytecode. So then platform independent. What is a platform independent? Does not stop source level. One second. Platform independent is does not stop at a source level. However, Java binary files are also platform independent and can run on multiple platforms without the need to recompile the source. Java binary files are actually in the form of bytecode. So what is binary? Binary means either 0 or 1. So actually that will be present in the bytecodes. So the same way again, JDK, JIT. We have seen JIT just now. Java, what is JIT? What is JIT? Can anyone answer what is a JIT?
Just-in-time compiler.
Very good. Okay, so then I can see you people are listening. Okay, the JIT cannot compile the entire bytecode of the Java program into executable machine code at all once, because Java runtime environment carries out various runtime checks that can be performed only at runtime. The collection of three entities, namely Java language package, and a set of JDK tools is called as a Java. So when do we call it as a Java? In Java, what are present? We have a Java language. Along with Java language, we have packages. So what is this packages? We can write our own packages. If I suppose if you are doing any project in a company and you have your own files, Java files, coding files, and you want to include whatever you have written to your project, then you make use of a Java package. So then Java development kit, Java development tools, which are related, whatever tools you want for your programs to execute, then you can use all these put together, calling it as a Java. So JDK tools, what are the JDK tools we have? So the important development tools included in JDK are a compiler. So Java compiler is there, Java interpreter, Java disassembler, Java debugger, tools for C header files, tools for creating HTML. We create HTML tools, documents. So suppose if you want any document to be written, so then we can use a HTML document and tools for weaving Java applets. So you want to use Java applets. So I told applets is what? Internet programming. If you want to write any internet programming, then we use applets. So the purpose of each of these development tools is briefly described in the following thing. So we just discuss what each one is doing. So tools in JDK, applet viewer. So these are the required for executing. So all these, whatever you have, no, you have to remember them. One second, I have a call. I'll just attend that and I'll come back to you. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. There was a call I have to attend. Okay. Okay, so we have seen tools. We have seen these things you have to remember. Say applet viewer, when you want to execute any applet programs, you require a applet viewer. So that's the reason this tool helps us to execute a special type of Java programs known as Java development, known as applets. So when you want to execute any applet programs, then you have to have a applet viewer. The same way, this tool Java, just Java, this tool is a Java interpreter. It interprets the bytecodes into machine code and then executes it. So now you, after compiling, you want to run. So then you have to use a Java, your file name .java. Then you require a Java interpreter. Then Java C, this tool is a Java compiler. That's the reason you can see Java C. Java C is what? Java compiler. This tool is a Java compiler. It compiles the Java source code into bytecode, which can be understood by JVM. So Java Doc, this tool is used to create documentation in HTML. Java H, this tool, so if you want any documentation, then you can use a Java Docs. Or Java H, so this tool produces C header files for use with a special type of Java method known as a native methods. So these you have to remember, that is applet viewer, Java, Java C, Java Doc. Java Doc and Java H we use very rarely, but first three is important. If you want to run any applet programs, then you should have an applet viewer. So then Java C and Java is compulsorily required for all simple programs also. Once you execute, Java C is required, and to run you require a Java. the types of applications, what we can have in the Java is the three types of programming can be developed using Java. One namely applets, servlets, and a standalone application. So applets, internet applications, internet programming you can do with respect to applets. Then client server, then you can use a servlets. Standalone application, like how generally you execute all the simple programs, that is a standalone application. Applet is a Java program that is developed exclusively for the internet. Applets are embedded in HTML document that takes care of design of the web pages. Servlets are used to create a dynamic web content. So standalone application can be used without the internet connectivity. These applications are executed. So when you want to execute in standalone, for us it is not required any internet. We start with a simple program, a simple Java program. So let us look how the simple Java program looks like. Okay, so how the simple code is working. Let us look at the simple code that will print the word hello world. So first we start with very simple program. So that's what here, what this program is doing is it is just printing only hello world letters on the screen. Okay, how to write a simple Java program? So we start with public class my first Java program. So what is this public? We'll see one by one. All these is explained down. So then we are just printing how you have a printf statements in your other programming. Here also we use a system.out.println. So then for all your C and C++ program, where do the execution starts? Where do the main? So we should have a main method. Same way here, even in Java also, you have a public static void main. So we see what each word is explaining. I'll explain the next. Then we have to use our parameters, which the parameters are in the form of string. And that's the reason you can see string, that is square bracket arguments. So how many arguments you want, you can pass. So then system, it is a class. Then dot out, it is an inner class in the system. Println is a method. So how you have you in your C language, print, printf, print scanf, like this. Same way here also we have a println. So whatever is there in the method println, that is within the quotes hello world, will be displayed on your output screen. So how this is working at a compile time? So this is your program. This program, whatever you have, that will be compiled, right? First thing, that's what you have to do is first you have to compile. So what you have to compile? Your program. So I have just taken this same program that will be converted first to a bytecode. So how it is compiled? It is compiled by a compiler. A compile time, Java file is compiled by a Java compiler. It does not interact with the operating system and converts the code into bytecode. So whatever we have written the Java program, that will be converted to a bytecode by whom? By compiler. So then how the execution of your program works? First, class loader. The whatever in class, if you have, suppose the printf, what is it? Printf, it is a built-in method. Where? In output. Where? In the system class. So all these are required for us to print. So in that case, we require class loader is a subsystem of JVM that is used to load a class files. Bytecode verifier checks the code fragment for illegal code that can violate access rights to object. So when you are typing your code, suppose if you have made spelling mistakes or you have made a small letter to capital letter, syntax is wrong, then this bytecode will verify. Then interpreter reads bytecode streams one by one. So that's about your execution. So let us look how to open. So how do you open other programming? Where do you type your programs? C or C++ programs? Where do you type your C and C++ programs? Can anyone respond?
in IDE.
In IDE. Yes, Raman, it's right. But which IDE you type? So you may use anything. Same way here, Java also you can run in, you can execute different ways. One way I'm explaining now. So first what you have to do is first open a notepad and add the code as whatever you want the code you can type. So the simple above code I have written, hello world printing, you can type in that. Then save that program, whatever you give here, right? So your program name, what is your program name? My first Java program. Your class name and your program name should be same. This you have to remember. In Java, whatever you have your class name, main class, where is your main? So here in our case, main is only one. So that main class, main method's class name should be same as your file name, what you save. So save the file name as my first Java program. And the extension for Java is what? .java. So whenever you're saving any Java programs, what you have to do? The extension for Java is .java. Then open a command prompt window. So what you have to do? Simultaneously, I'll just show you. So open a notepad. Just type everything, all the code. Then save this code, whatever you have typed. So let me copy the code here. I've copied and I will paste here. So whatever the file name you have, it should be same. So Java is case sensitive. Case sensitive means what? If capital letter is there, it should be capital letter. If it is a small letter, it should be small letter. So then save this as, what you have to save? Always you have to save it as whatever is there, .java. Extension for your program is .java. Then save this program. Yes. So then open a command prompt, cmd. Then what they say? So open a command prompt window and go to a directory where you have saved the class. So here you can download a JDK. Latest versions also you can download and keep it. Then you have to compile this program, right? So how you have to compile? First you should have a JDK. Right now I don't have. I am using the same with the Visual Studio. I'll explain in the lab. So but here just I'm explaining. So Java C first you have to give and your program, then .java. This is a compilation. Means if you have any errors in your program, this will be working. Then I have not saved, so you will not get. So then Java, same file name, sorry, Java, I think it is missed, Java my first program, first Java program. Careful with your spellings, capital letters, whatever you have saved, it should be same. Okay. So these are the two steps. First, to compiling, you have to use Java. Compiling, what you have to use? Java C, my first Java program .java. That is compiling. In case if you don't have any errors, you'll get no outputs. After no errors, then to get your program output, you have to use a Java my first Java program. So this is the steps what I have explained here. The same thing. So open the command prompt window and go to directory where you have saved the class. Type Java C, my first Java program .java, and press enter to compile your code. If there are no errors in the code, the command prompt will take you to the next line. So then to run the program, you have to use Java my first Java program to run your program. You will be seeing if your program is fine, you should get a output as hello world printed on your window. So that's what I have explained here, how to run and compiling. So running Java C, my first Java program .java, then running Java my first Java program. So then your output will be hello world. Okay, so now we have just seen typing of the program. This is your first program. Then execution, we have seen. Execution, what you have to see, how to compile and run. So commands used for compiling: javac, your file name, whatever program name you have given, .java, and running Java, your program, and that is your output. So this is how we do. So now we move on. What each line in your program says to us. Okay. So parameters used in first Java program. Let us see what is meaning of class, public, static, void, main, string, system dot output dot println. So class is what? Class is a keyword. Why do we use to declare a class in the Java? So if I want to declare any class in the Java, then I have to use a class. So then what is public? Public keyword. What is public? In other languages, did you use public?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is the work of public?
Access modifier.
Accessibility.
Access in every function.
Yes,
Every function.
access specifier. It is an access specifier where either it may be public. In a C++, you would have used public, private, protected, right? Same way here, public is a access specifier. This is one keyword where to access whether I should allow this for a public or I don't want to allow. So that's how we can use. But here the public is a keyword and it is an access specifier which represents visibility. It means it is visible to all. So then what is static? We have used a keyword called as a static in our program. So you can see here, this is a public. So this is a public. Then this is a static. So what is the meaning of static? So static is a keyword. This is also a keyword. If we declare any method as static, it is known as a static method. The core advantage of static method is that there is no need to create an object to invoke the static method. So the main method is executed by JVM, so does not require to create an object to invoke a main method. So it saves in the memory. So what generally, why we use a static? Static means general dictionary meaning of static means what? Which will not change. The same way here, static is a keyword where we are using for a main, so that the memory is saved. So what is a void? What is the work of void? You have used
Return type. Function is returning no value.
Yes. So here you can see this is a void. So void is what? It is not, the main function is not returning anything. So that's the reason we are using a void. So void is a return type of a method. It means does not return any value. So what is main? So main represents the starting point of your program. So where the execution start? So execution starts generally in all the programming languages. The execution starts wherever you have a main. So here main represents the starting point of the program. So then we have used here string. So you can see in our program, we have used a string. And you have to remember always S is capital. So Java is case sensitive. Case sensitive means what? Wherever there should be capital, it should be capital. Yes. So S is the capital string and this is a bracket, square brackets, then arguments. So what is this string is doing? String brackets argument is used for a command line argument. So what do we mean by command line argument? Studied somewhere command line argument?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever we are running the program, along with the file name, we give arguments.
Yes, true. So what we do is, so whenever we want to give values at the runtime, then we call it as a command line argument. At the runtime. Runtime means what? Just now I told Java program, right? That is a runtime for Java. So after your file program name, you can pass parameters there. If you are passing parameters in that way, then that is called as a command line argument. So if you want to pass any command line argument for a main program, then we can use a string arguments. How many arguments you want? You can any number based on your program or a project. So system.out.println. What is this? It is used to print. So in C language, you have seen printf. Yes. In C, printf and scanf we generally use for input and output. Same way in C++, we use a cin and cout. Same way in Java, we use a println. So what is this println? It is similar like your print statement. Here, so what is system? System is a class. What is system? System is a class. Then what is the output? Output is an object of which class? Print stream class. And what is println? It is a method. Method in the Java is what? Function. Yes, method is println is a method of a print stream class. We will learn about the internal working of a system.out.println statement. So the basic syntax, that's what just I was stressing you about Java program. It is very important to keep in mind the following things. One, case sensitive. So what is this case sensitive? Java is case sensitive, which means identifiers. Hello, here you can see H is capital and rest of them is different. So for Java JDK, these two are different. Hello is different, this hello is different. But for us, for human being, both are same. Yes, hello, hello. But what is difference here? First letter is capital, here it is a small. But it is two different things for Java. Then class name. For all class names, the first letter should be in uppercase. What it says, whenever you give any class name, always it should be a uppercase. In several words are used to form a name of the class. Each inner word first letter should be upper class. So that's what here you can see. Class, we have given M is a capital letter. My first Java class. So like this, we give a first letters as a capital letters. How do we give a method names? All method names should start with a lowercase letter. So you have to remember all these. These are very important because when you write programs, all these you should remember. First one, case sensitive. Next one, class names. How do you give a class names? Next is method names. All method names should start with a lowercase. What it says, all your class names, whatever method names you have, that should be in a lowercase letter. If several words are used to form a name of the method, then each inner word should first letter should be in a uppercase. Then what is program file name? Name of the program file should exactly match the class name. Just now I told whatever we give. What was the first class name? My first Java program. Same should be there when you are saving that program. So that's the reason. Your class name, which class? Main method's class name should be same as your file name. So this you have to remember. Okay, this is about basic syntax which you have to remember. That is how should be your Java things. It should case sensitive, class names giving, method names giving, and program file names giving. Okay, next we move on character set. So how many characters are there in English alphabets? How many characters are there in English alphabets?
26.
Should I use only them or different? So the same way, that's what here the character sets comes into existence. The set of characters allowed in Java constitute its character set. All the constitutions of Java program, such as constant, variable, expressions, and statements are written only by using character in the following character set. What I can use in Java, I can use numbers. That is numerals I can use from 0 to 9. I can use alphabets, either a lowercase or uppercase, and some special characters. All these I can use in the Java. So Java uses a uniform 16-bit coding scheme called as a Unicode. Why do we use? To represent characters internally, so the Unicode can be used. This is about a character set. So next we move on tokens or keywords. What do we mean by keyword? What do we mean by keyword?
It gives a predefined meaning.
Yes, true. The smallest individual entities in the program, in a Java program, are known as tokens. 5 important types of tokens are listed below. That is reserved keywords, identifier, literals, operators, and separators. So then around 60 words have been reserved as the keywords in Java. So they have predefined specific meaning. They should be written in lowercase letters There are some valid keywords: break, continue, switch, private. While these keywords I should not use for a programming language. This we have to remember. So that is what is called as a keywords. So keywords, it can be reserved, it can be keywords, it can be identifier, literals, operators, and separators. So what are the rules for identifier? The names that the programmer assigns for the classes, methods, variable, object, package, and interface in a Java program are known as identifier. So now you have your USN. When you have your name, why USN is required? Every one of you have your names. Then why USN is
It's a
required?
unique ID.
It is unique.
Unique identifier student.
In your class also you're unique only, right? Why USN is required? Why USN is required? To identify uniquely in university. In university, there may be so many repeated names. So to avoid any conflicts, they are using a USN. Same way, here also we are using the identifier to identify anything. It can be either method, variable, object, package, class, interface. For anything I want to identify, what is this? Then that is what is called as identifier. So how should we identify? The rules are there for identifying. They shall contain digits. What should be there in identifier? Digits, alphabets, underscore, and $sign character. That also is allowed. No white space are allowed. A keyword should not be used as an identifier. The first character should not be digit. They shall have any number of characters. So these rules we have to remember whenever we are defining the identifier. I think we have short of time, so I'll stop here. We'll continue again in the next class because I have to take your attendance, right? Okay. Today's date is 17. 17/5. Anaga, answer your attendance. Anaga.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash. Akhil.
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut.
Yes, ma'am.
Akshay. Anusha.
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind.
Present, ma'am.
Arifullah.
Yes, ma'am.
Renaka.
Present, ma'am.
Banu Prakash.
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, Abhilash is present, ma'am. His mic is not working.
Abhilash is present. Okay. 12. By Gali.
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Chandana.
Present, ma'am.
Charan. Darshan.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha.
Present, ma'am.
Last class, madam absent. First class. Dakshayani.
Present, ma'am. I was present, but I couldn't answer the attendance.
I should consider them present, right? You should answer, right? Kishan.
Present, ma'am.
Harshit. Hemalata.
Yes, ma'am.
Uma.
Present, ma'am.
Jayanti.
Jayant, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Sorry. Jayant. Divya.
Yes, ma'am.
Last class absent.
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik.
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi. Chimat. Lavanya. Lavanya was there. Lavanya. Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Manoj.
Present, ma'am.
Mohit.
Yes, ma'am.
Naval.
Present, ma'am.
Navya.
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil.
Present, ma'am.
Panindra.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan.
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja.
Present, ma'am.
Purnima.
Yes, ma'am.
Raman.
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi. Rashmi. Rupak.
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar. Samir.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
First classer. Sahib.
Present, ma'am.
Sharan.
Present, ma'am.
Shashank.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheetal.
Present, ma'am.
Shivani.
Present, ma'am.
Soumya.
Present, ma'am.
Spurti.
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas.
Present, ma'am.
Sai Kumar is present. Sai Kumar. Okay. Sugandhini.
Present, ma'am.
Sushma.
Present, ma'am.
Last class, madam. Sushmita. Sushmita BS.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita U.
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha.
Present, ma'am.
Trupti.
Present, ma'am.
Varsha.
Present, ma'am.
Tina.
Present, ma'am.
Last class absent, madam.
No, ma'am, I was present, but some network issue I could not try attendance, ma'am.
Yeah, this time I'm giving you. I don't want to repeat it again.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, we'll stop here. I don't want to take any extra